Hey, this is Bishop George Johnson with your midday motivation.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough.
We're still in Mark chapter 2. I hope you had an opportunity to read it this weekend. It has so inspired me, and I just want to share it with you. A story of a paralyzed man who had one goal, one vision, one dream, one thing he wanted to accomplish in his life, and that was to walk. He assembled a team of 4 and himself made 5, and they began to journey to where Jesus was. When they got there, they couldn't get near Jesus. It seems like their hopes, their dreams had all been dashed and destroyed because there was a crowd on the inside of the house. There was a crowd on the outside of the house, and the paralyzed man couldn't get near Jesus. So they came up with a new plan to go through the roof. And when they did that, here is the key I want to share with you this morning. This is what separates the haves from the have-nots. This is what separates those that get manifestation and those that do not receive manifestation. When they were lowered in front of Jesus, when they lowered the man in front of Jesus, listen what the next verse says. It says, when Jesus saw their faith. You got to get that. When Jesus saw their faith. That word faith right there goes beyond believing. And that's what many people stop. They only stop at believing. But that word faith goes beyond believing. You see, they were believing when they came up with the idea to go see Jesus, but it never changed his situation. He was still paralyzed. They were believing when they started walking towards Jesus on the journey to get there, but his situation never changed. They were believing when they were standing in the parking lot trying to get in the house where Jesus was, but he was still paralyzed. His situation, his condition never changed. They were believing even when they were on the roof, tearing a hole in the roof, they were still believing, but his situation never changed. His condition never changed. He remained paralyzed even though he was believing. And that's where people stop. And his situation then began to move until they said, Jesus saw their faith. What did Jesus see? He saw them acting and moving and operating on what they believed. That's what that word faith means. When Jesus saw them moving, operating, and acting on what they believed, then it moved the hand of God. Then the manifestation came. You want a business? Where's the business plan? You want to get married? Where are you? Are you out there seeking and searching? Are you trying to find that wife? Are you putting yourself in a situation to be found by a husband? You want to go back to school? Why don't you start filling out some applications? You want a job? Why don't you start knocking on some doors and start getting out? Your situation is never going to change, and you start moving, operating, and acting. Stop talking about it. This is the day to start being about it. One of my favorite speakers says this: the richest place in the world is not the Middle East, where they're filled with oil mines. It's not the diamonds that are in the ground in West Africa. He said the richest place in the world is the cemetery, because he closes with this: there you'll find dreams never lived. There you'll find songs never written. There you'll find plays never written. Why? Because they died only believing. Keep going. You're closer.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.